Well, hello everyone and welcome back to the major All-Stars tournament event where the LAN will take place in Malaysia, a 100K prize pool. Base has been set up with crowdfunding, of course, coming in from the ticket purchases, and this is coming from Fallout Gaming, the English coverage coming to you from beyond the summit. I'm KotLGuy over here, leading into the North American qualifiers, or the American qualifier action. This is just day number 1 of those qualifiers, and our first matchup for today, the only one today, is a best-of-3 matchup between Complexity Gaming and Union Gaming. We saw in game number 1, Union Gaming had a nice start there, picking up and going with the spicy Huskar grab, but Complexity kind of just stick with their guns, and they take it home in the end, and now they are going to be on match point here coming into game number 2. I myself, KotLGuy, bringing you the action, and this time I got joining me remotely, going to be good buddy David, Mr. Blaze. How you doing, friend? What'd you think about game number 1?
Doing really good. I did think it was a little bit clowny. I mean, what do you expect when you've got like that tricore of the Huskar, the Viper, the Troll? I really feel like that draft was gimmicky at best. And although there was some real potential when he got the 4-minute armlet with the fact that he gets the shallow grave support, which is great for Huskar, and he gets the battle trance, that kind of Troll trifecta there really does have a nice little ring to it. But all the same, like they just weren't able to team fight because they didn't have any. They had like what, 2 stuns? They had a bash. And they had a Wraithfire Blast. Like they had absolutely no control. So in the end, I'm not surprised the game went the way it did. And yeah, I don't think they're going to try that strat again. But you know, you get game 1 in the books, you give them a little bit of a boost of confidence, and then you crush it in game 2 and 3. That's the strat for Union Gaming. Maybe a little bit of mind games there, but for now they're going to have to deal with Mike's clockwork. I mean, that's going to be the opener for Complexity. It went pretty well in that first game, not in the laning phase, of course, but throughout the mid to late game, he definitely contributed. If you can even call it the late game, and they're going to answer back with Avenge and Brew.
Yeah, even with the recent changes in 6.83C, still seeing the prioritize getting rid of that Jug and Axe, even though you know, a lot of teams maybe not too sure where they really reside as of right now. It's better to play it safe than sorry, I suppose. And Complexity already saw what Mike can do with the clock, so grabbing that first and foremost. You know, even Fire during their Star Ladder run prioritized Mike rather with getting a hold of his grab early on. Like typically it was the Bat Rider back then, which I think is another one of his top successful off-lane grabs. Though grabbing something like a Bat Rider early can prove to be a problem, and well, you have a Vengeful Spirit on the other side. So Clockwork seems to be the safe bet here, and they get a nice little dynamic set up here. Skywrath Mage works very nicely with your Clockwork when he's able to jump in and kind of isolate him within the cogs. And, well, I know it's something that Z Freak has been played, or at least used to play plenty of. It was back in the last season of Canada Cup where Complexity had that crazy matchup against the Sneaky Nyx Assassins, and Z Freak put together like 20-something, I almost want to say 30-something kills on Skywrath Mage, and probably was one of the clowniest series I've ever seen. So this is definitely looking more standard from the side of Union Gaming with the Brew Vengeful Spirit, and I wager, knowing that it's match point already, they're going to look to keep things a bit more straightforward.
Yeah, that Skywrath silence is going to be nightmarish against the Brewmaster. They also could have gone with the Lion to add a little bit of the burst that we saw in Game 1, along with that control, the instant hex. But, I mean, the Brewmaster, the Skywrath is able to kind of maneuver really nicely with the short cast time on Ancient Seal, the fact that he obviously gets the Mystic Flare in the cogs. They can make some really cool combos happen, and it's a very good support in the sense that you can roam actively, you can kind of change up your lanes very dynamically there. The Chen, he's a little bit more stuck in his ways. My nuts, he still accomplished a lot throughout the game, but you can tell that he was kind of dedicated to one thing or another. The Skywrath can multitask, and that's a really nice thing. But interesting seeing the Sniper ban here. Obviously, that Vici Gaming opener, the Clockwork, the Sniper together, where the Sniper essentially is the big damage dealing, the Clockwork creates space via hook and cogs. That's not going to be seen because they didn't open with it, but even still, they've got a really dynamic duo, and if they can go for like a hero that can dodge out some of these disables, like if you go for a Slark, you don't have to worry so much about the Magic Missile or the Drunken Haze, and you can kind of just plow through.
And so with that, we'll have to see what to look to fall back on next. I mean, Skywrath Brew in first 2 was something that I saw maybe a couple of months back during like Summit 2 time. It used to be like kind of the openers there. The classic Brew get first, then probably Skywrath there as the counter back. Then all you need is like a Void to kind of fill in here for Complexity, but with their offlane already grabbed here in Clockwork, unless it's a safe lane Void, I don't really see that happening a whole lot. So with that, Witch Doctor could be also a good secondary Complexity support option there. The cast works beautifully against Brew and options, but a third pick Brew coming out from Union Gaming. Okay. All right, well, I wasn't expecting too many new spicy grabs, but prioritizing the Brood this early on, I don't know. They either have a lot of confidence in their Brood player, a lot of confidence in already their lineup, but I think Complexity still have a couple of picks where they can look to answer the now game plan that's been set from Union Gaming.
Certainly, but if you're confident in your Broodmother player, you can take any counter that you're up against, well, almost any counter, and you can still run with the hero and still do a lot of work. The cool thing that the hero accomplishes in general in Dota 2 is forcing more resources to be put against her than what the team wants to commit. You have to tri-lane against her dedicated. You can't roam away from that lane. You have to pick heroes specifically to counteract her, things like that. By picking the Brood up early, they know, A, it's not going to get banned for the last phase, and they know that Complexity is going to look to probably pick up one or two heroes that quote-unquote counter her, and the Brood can still do a lot of work during that time period. It's going to be a Chen pickup here, and I'm a little worried about this, honestly. The Chen Skywrath, they're not the best at dealing with this hero. In fact, like, it might be, I wouldn't say they're going to aggro with those two heroes, but they're probably going to try to reshape the lanes a little bit. Either get a carry that can deal with the Broodmother more directly and a 1v1 while Sky and Chen smoke on the mid lane and try to kill Brewmaster a lot, or they're going to try to completely dodge it out and put Clockwork in the safe lane again. I'm not exactly sure what the best answer is, but they're certainly going to have to do something different, because this Broodmother, as it stands, will be able to run over in the laning phase.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, we noticed that last game Union Gaming didn't really look to go early aggressive as far as maybe rummaging through the jungle, blocking out a couple of camps, taking that away from Chen. They could look to do it potentially this time, but I have to agree. It seems a bit interesting here, the dynamic between a Skywrath Mage Chen as a support setup, unless, hey, this could be always the mid lane Skywrath, but we'll see. It's the Blue Eyes lineup for now, though, between Clock, Skywrath, and Chen. Fourth pick, though, getting ready to come out here. Union Gaming also banned out that Lina, so maybe just more respect towards Complexity. In their last game, it was Swindle who was playing that core Lina. It seemed like a slow start, but they really followed it up there with that burst damage, and now Enigma is going to be grabbed. So jungle on jungle action coming out. This is not looking like a very action-packed early game from Union Gaming, because it's going to be a lot of jungle wars.
Maybe, but the way I see it, if they go for a Lycan or a Drow on their last pick, you can amplify a lot of the damage, perhaps from the spiders, perhaps from the Eidolons, and you can make it so you can push very actively early, and that's going to up the tempo of the lineup a lot.
Well, Lycan would be nice.
Remaining.
Certainly so. It's Radiant side, but still, the benefit that all those summons get could be tremendous here. So if you're looking at the side of Complexity and the potential push power and the swarm that's coming your way, you already locked down your support setup. I mean, this is one of the rare moments that I'm like, hey, maybe you go for a KotL to be able to blast that all back. But they've already committed there. So anything bouncing out at you? I mean, Shadow Fiend is going to be the grab. We saw it all through DAC as like the new blossom from the tournament, and it was ignored last time. But here it is. It's going to be Dire side. The raises certainly could help out in being able to wave clear quite a bit. And his matchup against Brew could be okay. Early point in the Drunken Haze is iffy, considering he still can always find the farm with the raises. But you know,
5 seconds
to Shadow Fiend after all. We'll see if we're going to have a bit of a Sumail on our hands or not.
Yeah, it's really tough to make sure that the lane's going to go really well for your Shadow Fiend, but I think they have the supports to do it. The Skywrath and Chen are going to be a lot more active on the mid lane than the Venge and the Enigma. Enigma really needs to get just focused on his own farm, and if they put on 1 or 2 wards in the jungle and they invade early, which this team can definitely do because they have a at least a moderate level 1 advantage. But if they do invade and put down even a single ward, Enigma's jungle tempo will be slowed down, and he won't be able to really get involved in the mid lane. So I really think that Shadow Fiend is a secure pick here, and obviously can do a lot of work in terms of clearing out the spiders if they ever try to actually sink their teeth into a tower. The raises are going to give Shadow Fiend a lot of gold, a lot of Necromastery stacks, and from there he's going to be able to build up towards some really good teamfight items.
So we have the last couple of bans getting ready to come out here. Union Gaming get rid of the Legion Commander, potentially someone who could really put a stop to the huge creep wave and build up that both the Brood and the Enigma throw together. But Templar Assassin is going to be the one. Mott was saying in the last game, the blank named player, who I guess is going to be going as Sora, S-O-R-A, apparently had a phenomenal Templar game not too long ago. It might have been in Canada Cup, I'm not too sure, but we'll have to see. Now I get to see it with my own eyes here.
Yeah, that will be really interesting to check out. I really expected the Lycan to come out, to be completely honest with you, but TA definitely has a
10
lot of
seconds
potential
remaining.
in early activity. You look at a Skywrath Mage who has like 0 armor to start,
5
not much
seconds
agility gain.
remaining.
TA is going to be able to 2 or 3 shot this hero, so it's essentially making it so the Broodmother in the laning
Reserve
phase
time.
keeps the Skywrath low, like he doesn't get to actively pull in the lane or actually get involved, and then the Templar Assassin punishes that with like a Blink Dagger and maybe an early Desolator. Like this Skywrath is going to be food, the Chen perhaps as well. So it really comes down to lane for Union Gaming. They've got a couple of really good laning heroes and others that can just kind of cement a golden experience advantage like the Enigma. But the last pick Bristle will come through. That is going to be the hands of Swindle Melons. And obviously there's a lot of potential with this guy here. Getting a couple of Quill Spray stacks will allow him to dish out the physical damage he needs to kill off some spiders, or in general, it's just one of those heroes that doesn't die easy. And TA, she likes to make the fights quick and dirty.
I'm really liking the durability Bristle brings, and like you said, the Quills could bring in surprising amounts of gold in the heat of a fight with all these Eidolons and Spiderlings in the mix, so Bristle's there to be the answer. But here we go. We're hopping into match number 2 of this best of 3 between Union Gaming and Complexity Gaming here. Complexity up 1 game, looking to close things out, and they're the ones going on the early assault into the jungle. They're trying to nerf down Enigma's farm here. Checking out the ward situation, my Nuts has the sentry on hand. Z-Freak, none with him right now, but maybe looking to block out at least the double camp right here. There's going to be the 1 obs drop down and below. And it looks like with that, they're going to walk away. So obviously, Benjaz nearby, potentially scouting it out. But here we go on the side of Union Gaming here. I'll lead into your introductions here. On the bottom, yeah, Benjaz is going to be playing what looks like the solo safe lane brew here as they got the last grab Templar to kind of change things up. Z-Talk, your Enigma in the mid lane, looking to sacrifice the creep early on to help them out while they're trying to go for the rune. Zindrils is going to be playing your support Vengeful Spirit. Greedy is on that Templar Assassin as you see him go into the early skirmish, and that will leave, of course, the blank player not playing the Templar Assassin. Sora is going to be playing your Brood Mama.
So yeah, a very technical hero that can do so much work when it's in the right hands. Going for the Soul Ring recipe opener, so very confident that he's going to be able to farm up that early 325 gold and spam spawn Spiderlings from there. But these wards will come out. They're going to be very active here up in Union Games jungle, and that's going right into Zender as he actually is in a very bad spot. Doesn't have the movement speed to really get away from this, and Z-Freak should be able to gun him down. One more spell or right click was required. And yeah, he's not able to break through the fog of war. So despite having 375 movement speed over 295 on the Venge, he is not able to reclaim the lost love's life.
And they are really looking to be a pain in the ass, and they're like, that's my creep now. Chen takes away Enigma's creep, and they are having a jungle battle between the 2 junglers right here. And I like this call from Complexity, just really nerfing down. This is a headache right now for Zatok. He is just going to watch his camp get farmed up, his Eidolons trying to focus fire Z-Freak, but they will also be farmed up as well. That is going to be a staggering start for him. Meanwhile, bottom, it's just kind of a mono-y-mono matchup where I know Mike is going to be happy having the solo lane against the Brood for now. And up and above, now Bristle is going against the Brood Mother, and those Quills could certainly help out, but Brood just really needs to get to level 3, and then she can look to find farm even on the side.
Now, the really old Complexity lineup, like 2 or 3 years ago, had Hannah Montana running an off lane that played against Broodmother very frequently. She was very popular in the metagame, and the 3 heroes that you saw against Broodmother there was the Tidehunter, the Darkseer, and occasionally the Sand King, because he does have a couple of really good AoE abilities. But the Bristleback, he obviously has had a lot of buffs over the past couple of years, and I definitely think at level 3 he can really start contesting this lane more directly, and Broodmother doesn't get to farm supports like she intended. Back in the jungle, we're going to see Zender take a lot of damage here, and yeah, with the Test of Faith and the Shockwave going out, it's going to be a First Blood going to Z-Freak, a rune control for them on the bottom side, and I mean, what can Enigma do here? Even the cogs going through between Mike and Benhaz, and that's going to be close.
Oh, Benhaz needs at least 1 to 2 more attacks, but can't get it. The battery assault creates that bit of extra leverage right there for Mike, and he's able to easily walk away. But yeah, First Blood going to be taken down. These supports of Complexity taking over the Union Gaming jungle. Enigma is forced to go to the other side right now to get things started. So I'm sure Complexity, once they find out Blue is missing, that seems to be the idea. But they are in full control from the early portion of this. And with that, Limp's able to grab up that rune on the bottom. And he'll walk himself right back towards the mid lane. As far as CS goes on your mid lane matchup before with this greedy TA going against Limp's Shadow Fiend, it is Shadow Fiend at 9-3, but the TA is at 12-3 right now. Just a slight lead for him, but with Limp bringing in more and more of that Necromancer, it could change around pretty dramatically.
Yeah, we have on this observer ward. We have vision of Zender pulling. They're not going to really get in range for the Hellbear Clap just yet. They're going to try for it with this concussive shot, but nice stun coming out from Zender. The Clap still pursuing, but they're going to have to pincer in, and they actually won't be able to bring Zender down. If he doesn't stun the Hellbear there, he's certainly dead. But he's got some survival instincts.
I guess Benjaz being there would have made it finicky, but with the creep wave moving forward, it almost seemed maybe like an opportunity to dive, but they would have needed more assistance right there. And well, maybe they didn't want to make the too aggressive call, but they kind of take over the pull, work on the side, go back towards the lane, and kind of keep Union Gaming guessing here. Mike, though, is going to get stunned and clapped. Might have went back the wrong way. Body block to the front, and Mike should go down here and will go down. Union Gaming even things up. Mike, unfortunately, kind of ran out the wrong window there, and now they're going to look for a return kill on the Benjaz, and they get it! Good grab for them. My Nuts continues moving forward, and Zindrils gets bullied back as well.
And on top lane, the Broodmother just died to a random Quill Spray. She was hiding here in Viz, was in the tree line a little bit, had some magic stick charges, was like, I'll just sit here and regen into my webs. I have a nice boost of +4 HP regen. The Soul Ring gives me +3, but she already had 3 stacks of Quill Spray on her, and Swindle just casually throws one out there and was just barely inside the radius. That is such a huge kill. That should not happen. Now a level 6 Bristleback is what this level 4 Brood faces.
Now this is a hard lane to go for your Brood, and Brood is going to have to, I mean, the Creeper Balloon is working in his favor right now by the tower to get into level 5, but Swindle is now much further and above with this Quill able to kind of stack on up. He prioritizes getting it to level 3 now. No goo necessary for this one. Going straight with the Bristleback and the Quill Spray. Now at level 4 as he reaches level 7. He is taking full control here, and this is a lane where you're not really looking to help out your Brood. Brood should be able to take care of this on your own. And when she is losing, that is very dramatic. But mid lane, engagement, Zatak comes in from north, but that's a haste rune and a free get-out-of-jail-free card right there for your Limp Shadow Fiend.
Still dropping solo. He keeps using the Soul Ring here, and he drops down to 150 HP again. Will be able to use a 10-stack magic stick here, and that'll put him in a decent zone of HP. But
Benjaz, they're going on Benjaz bottom. They converge with both supports. Gets caught with the net. He has no split. He's going to get taken down, and it's going to be Z-Freak picking up that kill. Complexity move on ahead now, 4-1. An early laning phase domination for them.
Yep. So essentially, right now, Swindle has complete control of the top lane. You just pick up treads, and what you can do with the treads, and it seems a little silly, but if you put your treads to intelligence, you can actually get so much more efficiency out of your Quill Spray, and this is what he's doing. He is swapping them, Agi for the bottle usage and intelligence for his Quill Sprays, and you get probably 2 more stacks of Quill Spray every single time you use your full mana pool. So it's actually extremely cost-effective. He will be kind of pincered in here on the top rune.
He wants that rune, the 6-minute rune, though, going to be contested. Zindrils moves forward, gets the stun. Limp comes in to help out. Greedy, though, with the refraction, looking to hunt and try to take down that Bristle. Should be able to get it here. Runs up to the high ground. Quills keep going out, and he abandons that and goes right for Shadow Fiend instead. Limp, the Meld Strike, big damage, and they do manage to take him down. Here comes the army, though, of my Nuts. Charging forward. Mike jumps in from the Raptors to get a hold of Zindrils and takes him down. A 1-for-1 trade. Still advantage, though, for Union Gaming. Can they get Zatak, though? Very low. The rocket brings him down, but he's going to be A-okay. Swindle also able to walk away from Greedy there. When the dust settles, it's a 1-for-1 trade where Union Gaming do manage to take down the mid laner, but Complexity now have quite the army in this mid lane.
Oh, getting the 5 spiders there up on top. Swindlemelons was able to acquire a regen rune on the back end of that. Didn't get the full benefit from it, but still was able to go back up to the top lane with his bottle refreshed, and he doesn't actually get forced back despite being so low in that fight. And he's going to prevent Brood from doing the side push action that she wants to. She really wants to just clear the creep wave, bring down this tier 1. Her job is to take tier 1 top, but Swindlemelons is making that impossible.
So Broodmother, if able to throw together the respected farm, we've seen all sorts of variants of builds, anything from your Orchid to your Necro Book. Anything in particular looking to stand out this game? Orchid seems to be
definitely needs Midas.
Stand out, but
Midas versus Chen is really good in general, but yeah, he needs to really rubber band from this laning phase.
Uh-oh, Limp though gets caught with the rock and could be in trouble. Hand to God to fly out.
Nice cogs.
And now with the cogs, he's able to walk on away from this one. Cyclone keeps Mike in the air, but they're looking for a return kill. And Benjaz comes out from his split and going to get raised up the heels there, but so's the silence, and they're able to take him down. Follow up as Mike is able to jump on forward, and Zindrils will drop as well. A double kill for your Shadow Fiend. Things continue to come up roses right now for your Complexity team.
Yeah, this is just insane. The fact that the Swindle was able to win so hard on top is certainly like a game changer. And then, of course, what we saw in the jungle was just really good strategic play from Complexity. They knew if they forced Enigma out of his comfort zone, they could control both the mid and the bottom lane, and that's exactly what's happened. The TA has been farming decently, but there's the engage.
Yeah, Zotak going to be caught, not going to even bother with a black hole or anything. They just swarm onto this mid lane. Union Gaming just trying to get maybe a tier 1 tower, but even Greedy now is just desperate to walk away. Swindle, though, has 1 point into the goo, and he runs damn fast. Oh, maybe just a little too far. Would have been A-okay. Meanwhile, top lane, for the first time in quite a while, Swindle stepped away from the lane, and now he's like, give me these spiders! Oh, quill him down, baby! Come on, baby! Oh, he gets a couple of them. But yeah, Bristle just being a nightmare right now for this Brood. It looked like finally an opportunity for little Sora, the Brood Mother, to try to find some farm and some potential in this top lane, but Swindle just comes right back and is like, nope, nothing's going to be that easy.
Yeah. And I mean, although the supports have absolutely no AoE, because they weren't actually up against the Brood Mother in the lane, that doesn't matter at all. Now the Bristleback, Shadow Fiend, and Clockwork have sufficient AoE to make things happen. And Mike actually smokes up top here. He's looking to get a hook kill on the Brood Mother. We'll see if he catches her in the trees or just out in the lane. They do have one Sentry Ward in place, but I believe the Brood Mother knows about it. So we'll see exactly how Sora positions against this smoke.
I don't know. Mike's got the dust. They're going to see it with the rocket. He's got to try to make his way around. The dust is going to be popped, and there's going to be Swindle to see it. If he slows him down enough. Oh, the spiders are blocking Mike, so he can't get the hook shot off. Very nicely done from the Brood here to make sure that he's not going to get the initiation he was hoping for, and with that, Brood's going to be able to walk away. Support was nearby just in case of the commit, but they walk out. Meanwhile, mid lane, they're making to go with the tower. TP comes in from Z-Freak. He cannot get the deny. Greedy grabs the last hit on that one, and Mike shows up and above to get a hold of Zindrils here, going mono-e-mono with the battery soul already out, but Union Gaming converge. And even the Dragon's looking to get it on Mike's face. Maybe gets the deny. No, not going to happen. Trap slows him down, and one more smack of the crit from your Brew. And they get that kill.
Yeah, so now this opens up the map a little bit for Union Gaming. I would say that's the first really good thing that's gone their direction. Union Gaming taking that mid-tier 1 makes it possible for them to consider Roshan. They do have a Templar Assassin and an Enigma. They have a great Roche lineup, but they really need to gain some real leverage in this game. Z-Freak, very low HP, but the HP on the treads quite substantial. It's going to take a while for him to go down. Doesn't get the Ancient Seal off, though, and Greedy will just walk away with a clean kill. And
it looked like My Nuts didn't want to pop out the Hand of God for that. He even had the Buckler, but didn't use it there. I don't know how much it would be, as an effective tool against the TA, but every little bit could have mattered. And with that Complexity, maybe look to go for their own trade of a tier 1 here with this little bit of an army coming out. They just start to lay in the big right click. But yeah, with that, these tier 1s dropping, Roche, the idea of Roche does come up, but there's the stun onto Lim. Lim trying to walk away. Huge damage comes out from Greedy, and he could be in trouble. Ult flies out, but the refraction's going to be popped, and he is sent back home. Mike now jumps in, hook shot, and now it's going to be poor Zatak, not able to get off that black hole as he's locked on down in a prison of death. Greedy, though, going to get caught with his own net and will go down. Your Templar Assassin gets dropped. Complexity, takedown 2. Now Benjaz forced to walk away. Your Brew not even committing the split for this. Is going to be slowly gooed down here. Turns back, and if he gets silenced, he could be in trouble. The split actually comes out now. Complexity force it out, and they're going to just walk away from this. Meanwhile, top lane, Brood tries to push on forward. Limp is looking to trade and keep this Brood back, but Complexity continue their assault down this mid lane, parading this army towards this tier 2 tower. They know that Union Gaming have only 4 committed to this mid lane, and they have all the advantage they could ask for.
Yeah, most definitely. In a normal game, the Brood Mother will be able to take that as space created and be able to push on the tier 2, but with the help of Rocket Flare and a few raises there, Shadow Fiend is able to claim over 10 of the spiders, force the Brood out of the lane entirely, and, well, actually, she came back, but she's just feeding more away. Look at all that gold! Almost 50 gold per spider there, and he just took out nearly a dozen. Limp is suddenly able to finish up his Yule Scepter at an extremely fast time.
Do you think it's just, I mean, there's always the risk that they could just end up banning the Brood in the final phase, and they wanted to make sure they could secure it. But grabbing that Brood 3rd pick, it's just, I feel like it just allows a lot of opportunities for Complexity to just understand what the game plan could be here for Union Gaming and just build around that. Do you think that was a bit of a factor at all in the draft?
I definitely think it factored into it. I don't know if they would have been able to get it as a 5th pick. I think Complexity probably would have gone for the 5th ban once again, and I guess they just looked at this Skywrath. They looked at Z-Freak picking up the mage here, and they're like, oh, that's so juicy, I just want to kill that over and over, and the Broodmother certainly can do that, but when Complexity out mind gamed them and adapted to what they saw on the playing field, which was this Broodmother pick. They got a hero that could deal within the safe lane, and Union Gaming just didn't really change what they were all about in their laning phase. They got really confused by the aggro Chen and Skywrath duo, and they just did not change their skill builds, their item builds, anything of that nature. Like, if the Broodmother had actually gone for a build that actually featured her passive, Incapacitating Bite, she could probably win that lane 1v1.
Boom! See you later, Spider. There it is, the L Classic now, the new stylish Yule Shadow Fiend, and not even your little Brood will hold a candle to it. Just instantly annihilated the Dust Yule setup, and they take care of the Spider once more. Unfortunately, Sora and his Broodmother has been very ineffective this game. Yeah, took down the Tier 1, has been handing over, though, fistfuls of gold to the other team at this point, and Complexity continue to take advantage of that. Meanwhile, at the same moment, Mike does drop. It looked like it was a snag there from your Templar sets, as Greedy was able to walk away with just a sliver of life.
Yeah. That was actually really, really close. Mike was able to stun her, and she dropped down to like 40 HP, but had Magic Stick, had the Refraction, was able to turn it around on him. So, yeah, it was a close engage between the two of them, but TA is the one to walk away, and she's actually got, you know, your standard Anecdota, Phase Boots, Drum, and Iyasha. Not sure if it's going to do a lot in this game. They kind of need more maneuverability, maybe a Force Staff, or at least finishing up that mech on the Enigma before she can really stand and fight. But at least she's mobile, so if she doesn't get caught in the cog, she's going to be able to chase down heroes like Chen and Sky.
Definitely also a struggling game for your Enigma. Zatak, even at that start, had the headache of those supports, just constantly muscling him out from his own jungle. We have yet to really see him being able to take advantage of a black hole. I understand that there's always just the mind game of having a black hole on your team could always force Complexity to just always consider their positioning, but there has not even been a window of opportunity for him to even get the hole set up. Still trying to throw together that mech for his team, and when you compare that over to the side of Complexity, you have your mech already complete on my nuts. Bristle, he has his Crimson Guard, which is huge with all those summons coming out, and good against the Brew. The bottom lane, they're making it go. Greedy could be caught. Limp does not commit the Requiem here. Help is on the way, though, and they could converge on the 3 of Union Gaming.
Nice.
Hookshot flies out from Mike. Nice catch. Swap back will be a good save from Zindrals, but still a solo pickoff right there, or support pickoff, rather, for Complexity as they move on towards the bottom. Tier 1 had already been taken down, but it ends up being just a one-man drop, while top lane Union Gaming had pressure on the Tier 2. Uh-oh. More gold for Swindle. Come here, Spiders.
He wants it.
Come here,
yeah, he's going to go get it too.
Babies, get away, babies, no!
And the last
boom!
one. Yeah, that is a ton of CS. I mean, it obviously inflates their last hit values to a point that is near irrelevant compared to the net worth, but it's still a lot of gold going from the Broodmother. All she wants to do is just push this lane down, but every single time they force action bottom. The TA they're pushing the Tier 1 was in order for the Brood to get a foothold on the top lane, but they make their actions so quick with the clockwork play that they get their kill, they get out, and they rotate just one of the cores, Bristle or Shadow Fiend, and they'll always be able to just turn around and actually pay back the tower damage they received. So they're gonna disengage from this Roche, it looks like, but no matter the case, like Union Gaming are really on the back foot, even though they have finally picked up that mechanism.
Unfortunately, no trap was set in the Roche pit, so they do not know this is happening, it looks like. Still taking a lot of muscle power here. Not exactly the hardest hitters right now on the side of Complexity with Shadow Fiend going the Yules. It's not like he's got a whole lot of right-click coming on out, with the exception of his, of course, Necromancy, but it's enough to get the job done. Union Gaming, it's going to be too late before they can really figure out what exactly is going on, and with that, the Aegis is going to be picked up. Limp throws it into his pocket, and Complexity walk away.
Yeah. So at this point in time, Complexity really want to go on the offensive, look for an opportunity to make a play happen. Not sure if Mike is going to build into like the Force Staff, could go Aghanim Scepter, Drums is still an occasionally good option, or the Blade Mail, but the bottom line is no matter where he is on the map, he's going to be catching somebody in cogs with a hook shot, and when he does, at the very, very least, the Vengeful Spirit will die. Until they get a Force Staff, there's nobody that can disengage from the cogs, and yeah, this is just going to be where they start really upping their advantage. They already have a good, solid core of heroes that have all their core items, and at this point with the Aegis, they can start making moves aggressively as long as they keep rocketing top.
So Brood has actually managed to throw together a nice lump sum of 4.2k after being persistent in farming out this top lane. Very curious to see what he does here. It feels like he's just all in on this side push. So to be honest, seeing a Necro book might not be too crazy. It seems like the opportunity for him to get any pickoffs is just non-existent this game. 0-2 and 0. It's just all side push for now.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Necro build in general in Brood, but I think he just absolutely needs a BKB. The Yule's ulti combo has already doomed him once, and it's just going to keep happening if he doesn't have a BKB to respond to. Essentially, well, Z-Freak gonna get caught, but the TP's there. The swap is on the Brewmaster instead. But, yeah. I don't know. I just feel like the Broodmother, essentially, she oversteps once, she gets Yules, and then she is absolutely one-shot. At least when you have the BKB, you can just spam that button, and as soon as the tornado ends, then you'll be able to immune the ultimate. But I don't know. At this point, I don't even. That's a very defensive pickup. It's not going to put him back in the game, but it's going to allow him to at least be a little bit more active in the dire jungle.
Yeah, more of a nuisance to take care of. If it forces Complexity to go to that top lane to try to grab a hold of the Brood, if Brood's able to get away with its life, not lose too many Spiderlings, then maybe it's still a victory for them. They're continuing to creating space, but then I'm a little bit worried about the late game potential for the rest of Union Gaming. On top of
they're going in bottom
lane. Yeah, they're making the grab. IX Mike able to get a hold of the Brew. Brew pulls out the split, but there comes the Requiem, annihilates the Vengeful Spirit, and now they focus fire the Earth Bear, and really all the Bears have no chance whatsoever. It's a quick two-man takedown. They don't lose their tier 1. And once again, it's just Complexity taking advantage in numbers and advantage with all the farm they've already built up for themselves. 5-14 of Complexity, your net worth, is a 5K plus advantage for Complexity as it stands right now.
Man, Limp just spells Requiem, R-E-K-T. This is absolutely devastating. Every single time he goes in, and he's able to get a very nice kill right at the beginning of the fights. And now he's got the BKB at 10 seconds. Like, he is fearless going in. The Brood will pick up her own, but she's really not going to be able to do anything offensive with it. Like, it's not going to make her take that tier 2 faster. And after she takes the tier 2, it's like, what then? You have an open jungle, but you don't have anything to defend your high ground. And that's going to be what's contested next, as there's only 2 minutes left on Aegis.
This is an easy tier 2 grab. Brood is still trying to finish off the tier 2 top lane. Would hope to be by now at least contesting her own high ground. But that is not happening as it is. And plus you have the benefit of this Chen easily able to send anyone back to base without even a TP. This is going to be troublesome, but high ground now contested. Glyph is going to be forced out. Lip is just continuing to dish out the huge right click on his Shadow Fiend. And that fresh, shiny BKB and Aegis on hand. Swap back onto Swindle. They're going to try to focus the Bristle. Wow. They're coming in from the front. They could get him down. Dust is going to be popped to scout out the Brood. The BKB's popped from him. And Swindle's able to walk away. Crimson Guard being popped. The Brood is going to go down. And now the tier 3 drops. Swindle lives. Benjaz jumps forward. Silence. No split, so he goes down. Greed now able to get a hold of Limp. Limp is going to lose his Aegis. MyNuts forces himself back and away here. Send back to base if necessary, but Limp wants to dish out the Rage 1 and 2, but it doesn't matter. He gets blown up as it ends up being a 2-for-2 trade. Double kill for Benjaz. He wants more. Nice cogs from Mike. Keeps him on the low ground, but MyNuts not going to be lucky to get away, and they'll farm up the creeps. Triple kill for Benjaz and his Brew. Biggest fight so far for Union Gaming. They do lose a tier 2 and a tier 3. But with the gold swing, it is in the advantage of Union Gaming. Not too dramatic, about a 1,300 gold advantage for them. But Complexity, they do the damage. And while they still have plenty of towers to grab, even here on the top lane. It's a nice defense from Union Gaming, but it's not enough, I feel, to really put them back into this. But hey, with that and those couple of grabs on your Brewmaster, he's able to kind of advance forward to his next item grab here. I'm trying to see what it is. Doesn't look like he has even a Vlad's or anything quite yet. And now he picks up the staff. Is he going for an Agnums?
I'm not exactly sure what he... I think the 4 staff is probably it, just to get out of the cogs like I was talking about before. Yeah. It's a weird pickup on Brew, of course, but it seems to be a necessary one. But, yeah, that high ground defense was... I mean, it wasn't the most impressive thing I've ever seen from Union Gaming's players, but it was a pretty big throw for Complexity. They had a lot of tools to get in... Oh, Z-Freak? Yeah, he's in Please trouble. Don't die to spiders. Please don't die to spiders.
Oh, come here, you! Boop. Gets bopped with the nuke. Tries to slow him down with a concussive. Here comes Mike. Don't put a hand on my Skywrath Mage. But the BKB is going to be popped. Here comes Limp, his backup, and now the Broodmother's like, I got to get the hell out of here. So we'll walk away. But hey, it's a BKB popped. Skywrath Mage won't be taken down. Complexity are happy with this, so they have to pull out a couple of rotations for it, and they're creating space for Greedy to get that tier 1 on the bottom lane.
Yeah, that was just a really confident play from Complexity down bottom. Like, they had a bunch of tools to disengage. They had the Test of Fate to send home. They had a Force Staff to get Swindle out of there. He could have just walked away. He had enough time for it, but he overstayed his welcome. He played around as if he had immortality, but it was the Shadow Fiend's Aegis that they were relying on, and in the end, when the Aegis did pop, he was all by himself. He just couldn't do anything against the TA Meld Strike. So, yeah, I kind of feel like Complexity were just assuming that the game was practically theirs, making a big Moxius, overconfident play, and Union Gaming come up big. They get a Desolator on TA, they get a Blink Dagger on Enigma, probably a Force on Brew soon. That's all because of that high ground defense. It's a lot of rubber band, and now they're going to look for a little bit more. It looks like it's just going to control the jungle and clear out a few of the Chen's creeps. But okay, going in.
Yeah, Mike returns. They were trying to get a hold of Mamut, so it's not going to be there. Now Zatok is able to get swapped out and saved. Mech's going to be popped. Black Hole could be coming out. Limp, not going to be the Requiem, but there's going to be the stun. So Black Hole canceled immediately. Now they turn back. Greedy's going to get blown up right there. Skywrath Mage and the raises coming through from Limp. 2 down on Union Gaming now. And now they look to clean up the rest of Brood. The poor little Earth Bear faces the wall. They stare at it. And he pops out, and then now they're going to kill him. He goes down. Complexity walk away with 3 kills there. It was almost an opportunity for Union Gaming to get a hold of the Chen, but he is able to slip away.
Yep. So, I mean, that's just a really, really smart engage by Axe Mike. He knew that the entire team of Union Gaming wasn't there, and although Complexity would have to take a few seconds to rally, he knew he was durable enough to buy them the time to get in position. They were able to take that fight, force them out of the Dire Jungle for like the first time officially, and now they can just kind of march down mid. They don't have the Aegis this time, so they will have to play a little more reserved, but with this Crimson Guard up on Swindle, he does everything but be reserved. He goes right down to the bottom lane.
It's like, I got a job to do, and that's taking out these racks, and I'm not fearsome of anything. I know the Brood Mother's in top lane trying to get work done there, so we're just going to bully ourselves right on in. Take advantage of the mid lane push and try to get some damage. Swap back, though, onto Swindle. Shows him his back. There's going to be the Yules. He turns back in, pops off the Quills. Refraction's going to be pulled up from Greedy. Net's there. Skywrath ult. They get the Templar Assassin. Very nicely done. And now they look to focus onto the racks. Hookshot not going to catch from Mike on the outside, so he'll walk in the good old-fashioned way. Syndrels, though, very, very slow, is going to get taken apart. So with that, 2 drop. Complexity well inside the base. They want Benjaz. No split for him. Your Brew will be taken down in Complexity. No mercy whatsoever here for Union Gaming and their boys. Is going to be able to clean out the racks. Requiem, BKB's popped, however. Brood, oh, he's not going to make it back. This could be it. Complexity are going to be able to finish off this set of racks here. And I really don't know what Union Gaming can do to bounce back from already this whatever. This low point.
Yeah, it's really hard at this point. They do not have any of their major tools. They didn't have the ultimate, the Bruce split for that fight. He doesn't have buyback now, and it looks like the Z-Talk might just go down straight up. Yeah, double raise will connect, and yeah, they've just cleaned him out. This GG should be coming shortly. Now, I will note the Midnight Pulse has been doing a lot in these high ground fights, but in the end, the Chen's heals just are a little bit too much. The Mechanism in particular now, and the Hand of God available as he TP'd back home for mana.
Now they'll finish off the racks here. Greedy comes in, trying to poke what they can, but it's not going to happen. Benjaz commits forward, has the split, trying to go on to Limp. Limp very low, limping away from this one. Will just TP himself back home. Swindle could be the next target. Z-Freak even trying to create some space, goes inside the base. And there's really nowhere he can go. And, well, for that, he allows everyone else to make a clean getaway. And Complexity walk out. Huge winnings for them. 2 sets of racks down. Huge gold swing for them. Huge advantage for them. And Union Gaming, it might be a bit of a YOLO play potentially coming up. I mean, Roche is up. Complexity could look to go for it, and maybe that's one of the few opportunities that Union Gaming could look to contest and get something going their way, but it just might be too little too late.
Yeah, I mean, considering the fact that the Bristleback just got his Assault Kuros, the Clockwork just got his Aghanim Scepter, Shadow Fiends almost took his Butterfly, like, yeah, it seems like they've just fallen short at this point in time. They've really tried to pull this one back together, but the Broodmother didn't accomplish enough in this game. The high ground defense just was insufficient, as there were just too many great hook shots coming in from Mike. They, again, didn't have the tools to disengage. Now, Well, still they don't have the force F. Jeez, yeah, the Brewmaster is still like 100 gold off of this. I would just sell a magic wand, honestly. Like, yeah, you've been trying it for it all game. You're down to your last fight here. They do have a trap in the pit, so they know if Complexity is going for it or not. But at this point in time, it just feels like there's not much that can be done.
Greedy goes in himself to scout it out. Mike comes in thereafter, so they know trouble's nearby, and he just kind of walks away from this one. But I mean, Blaze, what went wrong so quick? Was it another questionable drafting lineup here from Union Gaming? The lane setup seemed to be not working. The Bristle obviously had the upper hand, getting that early easy grab, like not even maybe on purpose with the Quill snag onto the Brood Mama, but with that they were able to kind of dominate all 3 lanes.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see a fight break out here, but it's going to be very clearly one-sided. So, yeah, just discussing strategically a little bit. Yeah, the laning phase, I wouldn't say this was nearly as big of a draft win as it was in Game 1. Like, the Union Gaming draft in Game 1 was just complete shenanigans. They were trying for something to kind of throw Complexity off balance in Game 1 of the best of 3. And Mike will go in, so we'll call this last fight before we get back to that topic.
Yep. Mike could be in trouble trying to walk away as Greedy's able to right-click him down. Limp, though, unleashes a Requiem Fury, annihilating the Enigma. With that, Greedy's also going to be taken down. Only the Brew and the Brood to stand here, the Brood friends, as the Bears try to hustle away, piddling a path on the way out. They desperately move away, and the Brood splits out the other direction. Complexity with just another big fight for themselves. Limp with that Aegis. And with that, they could easily trot themselves towards the top lane if they want. Go for the tier 2 and go for the Megas. Brood is desperate at this point to try to push out this lane so they can stall out a little bit more time for maybe one last high ground defense. And Bejaz, trying to be the king of space creation, goes up and above and is able to TP away.
Works out. I mean, once the clock breaks down, that Ag's pursuit really isn't online, so he will be able to survive to live another day, but it seems like they're just treading water at this point. So back to the original question there, I would definitely say they just didn't adapt well enough. The big thing that caught them off guard was the Skywrath Chen. They assumed Skywrath Chen was going to be the dire jungle, and Brood was going to play around with them. Maybe have a couple of sentries to deal with, but with some really good maneuvering and just out-positioning, he could probably get some good experience on the lane, get the Soul Ring up, and get a couple of kills on the supports. Instead, they screw over the Enigma, they put pressure down on bottom, and it just doesn't work out in general. Now, the Bristleback's really farmed from a really good 1v1 laning stage, and in comes the cavalry.
Yeah, they move on forward. Brood pulls out the BKB, but can't quite find anyone to target. Limp still has that Aegis.
Oh, nice.
There's a black hole on 3, but insta-silence comes out from Z-Freak. No thank you, sir. And with that, they're able to quickly take down that Enigma. Hook shot forward. They also take down the Brew. Brood on the runaway, trying to even run away from an Arcane Bolt. Greedy trying to maybe go for Mike. Gets bumped back with the Cogs. He goes down. And it looks like that's going to be it. Complexity should be able to clean up. Union Gaming say we've had enough. And it's going to be a quick 2-0 sweep in this best of 3. Complexity walk away the winners.
Yeah, really solid play from them ×2. I mean, obviously, Union Gaming, I wouldn't say put their biggest game faces on this time around. Maybe in the future we'll be seeing a little bit more determination from them for really not just winning the lanes, but also moving into a stronger mid to late game team fight type strat. I mean, this strategy overall made sense. The Brewmaster, the Enigma, they actually have cooldowns as opposed to Hyper, Huskar, and Troll who have like 30-second cooldowns. Like the Union Gaming lineup right here at least had some potential to take fights, was able to engage in a couple of different positions, but it was just because they were so thrown off by the movement of the supports, this Chen and the Skywrath, that they just didn't really get their feet back underneath them.
And with that, it's actually going to conclude all of our action for today. We only had one little sweet best of 3 for you for the Fallout NA qualifier for Major All-Stars, the LAN event that's going to be taking place in Malaysia. We're in the NA qualifier. That was just our first matchup. We got to get one team at the end of this to qualify and go on to the LAN. So with that, Complexity are going to be moving on forward here. They are going to be looking to play the winner of tomorrow's matchup. So tomorrow, we're going to have in store for you what looks like at about 6 p.m. Eastern Time, that's 3 p.m. Pacific, a matchup between Wheel taking on Fire. Now, this is the new Fire squad, and I'll go ahead and show you here the matchup bracket. Their current new name seems to be the Summoner's Rift. I believe this is a team composed of both Fluff and Demon, so a nice little, I don't want to necessarily call it a pub stack, but a stack of NA celebs, if you will, and we'll see how well they perform. But with that, we're done for today. A pleasure as always, folks. Make sure to kind of stay tuned to all the tournament action to come. We got a lot of major All-Stars tournament action coming your way. Get that ticket in the store. It is crowdfunded, of course, to that prize pool. And, well, with that said, please show your love and support here on BTS. You can hit that follow button. And for my great co-caster, Blaze here, catch him on his Twitter at BlazeCasting. And myself, catch me over on my Twitter at KotLGuy. Also, you can look for the VODs that are going to be hosted up on the regular at Beyond the Summit. And with that said, folks, a pleasure casting for you. We'll be back tomorrow, and I believe Gods will bring you the action with some more major All-Star action. Take care, everyone.